one extra now, do we? Is Travis there? Okay. Oh, no, left off. His microphone seemed to be muted, so.
Yeah, I need to see how you mute that because I'm probably going to need to mute too. Oh, I see. Okay.
It's at the top of the screen on mine anyway. Yeah.
We're all learning together.
Yes,
I know.
we're navigating.
My daughter uses this all the time, but I'm like, Okay, I think, let me see if this mutes.
Yeah, that muted you there.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Okay, so I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I start teaching in the 30 minutes, so.
30 minutes, okay.
I got to do some things before I start teaching, so I'll probably mute and just listen. Okay.
Well, while we have you then, why don't you tell us a bit about your studio and what you have going on over there?
I have students starting at age 4 to adults, and I have currently, I think, 68 students. So I teach Monday through Saturday mornings. So that's me.
Wow.
I teach in the morning, starting at 6:30 in the morning, and
wow.
Then I take a nap at midday, and then I start back about days 3:15. And I usually teach until 8:30 or 9.
Okay. So are you taking kids before school, before they go into school or something?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That wouldn't fly over here, but I'm glad you could do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't fly with me. I'm not that dedicated.
Well, I didn't think it would fly, but when I started offering it, people say yes. And it's usually the busy people that when I explain to them, if you're real busy, nobody's asking you to come out and play, or there's no other things going on in the morning. Homework is done, and it's a great time to practice. It's a good time for lessons. So they go for it.
Oh, I have kids who practice before school, all right, who have, or even they just do their scales, just so the scales are done, and then they can use after school for the pieces. So that's a good way to do it.
Yep. It's kind of the same thing. If they would get up and practice in the morning, and I've had some people try it in the mornings and they do it for years, and then they try afternoon, and they usually go back to mornings.
Oh,
because they just prefer that because it's no other things going on in the morning.
Yeah. Distraction free. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll have to consider that, but man, that would be tough.
My mother says the same thing. My mother says that same thing. But it works for me, so.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even consider it, but I'm glad it works for you.
I know. I'm always like, when I get with other teachers, I'm always like the weird person. What time? You say, you're the person that teaches at 6:30 in the morning? Yeah, that's me. You've heard. Well, it works.
Over here, I'm the weird one for teaching in the summer, I think. So that's my...
I teach in the summer too.
Strange thing. Yeah, that's very unusual over here. Most teachers will take off 3 months because that's what the schools do. So which leaves you with nothing. So I don't do that. But a lot of teachers do. June, July, and August, all off. Because the secondary schools here, the high schools, they take 3 months for summer. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I find that my students that take off all summer are the ones who don't usually return.
That's right.
That's just what I found.
Yeah. They lose momentum.
Yes. I usually know that they're not coming back.
Yeah, you can get the feeling.
I start taking on the new students because I know those spots. I'm usually pretty accurate.
Yeah. How long have you been teaching?
This is year 35.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I think we have someone extra on the call. Travis? You there,
Hello.
Travis? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing good.
So, Travis, whereabouts are you?
I am in Blythe, California, which is Southern California in the United States. and that's where I am.
Cool. Fantastic. And you're teaching piano, or?
Yes, I teach piano at our local music store. I branched out from my music teacher, but I still take lessons from her as well. I've been teaching for 1 year, but I have been playing piano for about 7th, coming on to my 8th year.
Okay. And how many students do you have?
Currently, I have 6.
6. Cool. Great. Are you still in high school? Did I see that before? Or
Yes, I am. I'm in 10th grade.
cool. Okay. So that's what I would call 4th year. So that's when I started teaching too.
You too.
No longer that old, but that's when I started.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So snap. And how do you find teaching? There are
Oh,
frustrations?
I
Do you
love.
enjoy it?
I have quite young students. I have a couple who are around 6, 7, that age, and then I have a couple adult students as well. But the younger ones absolutely love it. I use a Mary Nicole piano method, and I use that book, and it's pretty. So far, it's really good. Running quite well. We have a few setbacks as well. I have a couple students who, I think I have about 1 or 2 who make their parents make them come to piano lessons. So I try to make it as fun as possible as they like it.
Yeah.
And one of the studio refreshes was one of the creativity ones was come to piano lessons in the costume. So
Cool.
today I have lessons. So I'm gonna do that today.
Oh, fun. That's a good one. Yeah, it's
And so-
tough when parents are actually making the kids do it, right?
Yeah.
They don't have a choice. What were you going to say there,
So
Regine?
what's your costume for today?
Today, not really sure. I'm either gonna go with one of the Minions from Despicable Me or a Tootsie Roll.
The Minion would be super popular, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I love that. Wonderful. And Gail, I didn't get to hear about your studio.
I've been teaching since 1972, so we're at 45 years now. Started when I was in high school, just like the rest of us. That seems to be the way to go on that. I have worked in the church. It has been my full-time job for a bunch of the time, so I didn't teach a lot. And then a few years ago, I had this crazy idea that I was going to retire, so I moved back to my hometown and started over. I flunked retirement, and so I had to start over again, rebuilding the studio. And
Yeah.
so we're at 28 right now, so we're starting all over again, and it's been much harder than I ever to start again. And I thought it was going to be easy because it had been easy in the past when I had moved and when I needed to. And then I'm an organist by trade, and so that kind of changes things a little bit too. Yes, I play piano and I also teach voice and all like that, but it's just a different world. It's just a totally different world than it's been for me years ago. So
Yeah.
we're rebuilding.
Yeah, but it's the marketing that's the toughest for you, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And fighting the schedules of soccer and swim team and tumbling and all of the other things that the kids are doing. And I'm just used to piano and music being a priority. And it's like, well, come on, people, get with the program here. What's problem? And so it's really been a real culture shock. And I'm not upset with the kids. I mean, they're doing what their parents asked them to do, but it's just such a different culture than the ones, particularly from when I started. So it's been educational for me too.
Yeah. No, it's tough when you move and don't know the systems that are already in place and you have to build up again.
Well, I moved back to my hometown, so I thought I would be able to connect with the parents and the grandparents of the people that I grew up, and I have. That's been the easy part, and my personal life needs some support system, so that's been very, very good. The problem is truly just the culture and the time and the commitment to the music program in general. But I found that even when my other jobs, because kids weren't available for choir or whatever. Well, yes, we'll come to rehearsal, but on Sunday we've got a swim meet and we're going to be gone, or whatever it is. It's just different than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Gail,
And
I'm telling you that 6:30 in the morning. I'm telling you, you won't compete with soccer and dance and all that stuff. I'm telling you.
Well, you know, that's why I was asking you, because I can see there's real merit to this. I will be in touch with you, and we will contemplate that.
I'm telling you.
What extra shot you put in your coffee in the morning?
I'm not even a coffee drinker.
Oh my goodness.
I just set that alarm and say, okay, and if I want to take a nap, I go do that afterwards.
You're wise. You're a wise woman. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be going up against swimming here at 6:30 in the morning, so I don't know if it's that way over there, but here they do swimming before school, so that's what I'd be clashing with at that time.
I have the swimmers start here. They start at, I think, 3 o'clock. They have to share pools, so 3 o'clock. I know I have one student who swims at 3 in the morning. They just got a new pool in the county, so he said now he gets to swim at 5 instead of 3. So he's excited instead of 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine.
So I mean, some of those kids are already doing things, so it's not that big of a deal when you ask them, you know, for morning stuff. They're used to. Some of them are already used to morning stuff.
Wow.
When I think 3 o'clock in the morning to swim is kind of really absurd, but
It is.
when you know, so people think I'm absurd, you know, 6:30 in the morning. I remember doing 5 o'clock one time, and the child came in pajamas, and after about a month, I said, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." I felt bad. She was here, and she lived across the street, and she came. She had to be back home before her parents left for work, and I was like, I felt bad for her. And then I said 5 o'clock was too early, so I don't do 5 o'clock anymore. 6:30. I've been doing that for probably 10 years, so that works.
Wow.
I found what works. 6:30 is the time.
And Radine, do you do any group lessons, or is it all one-to-one?
Just one-to-one. One-to-one.
That's a lot of students to teach one-to-one. Wow.
Yeah, 30-minute and 45-minute lessons.
Yeah.
In days gone by, I've done almost exclusively classes, and I love the group dynamic. But again, it's not working where I am and at this time. But if I had my choice, I'd go back to group lessons in a heartbeat. I love it. Absolutely love it.
How many would you typically have had in a group?
Usually 4 to 6. In days gone by, I had a freestanding studio, so it was its own store that was a studio, and there we ran over 100 a week, and the adults and the preschoolers during the day, and then the after school were primarily classes, and it was fantastic. It was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, it is good, and they start to gel.
Yeah, hated to see that one go, but that was another opportunity that changed. So.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Well, Radine, let's go to you next. So marketing was Gail's biggest challenge at the moment. Is there anything that's challenging you at the moment, or anything you wish you could try out, or anything like that?
I should say no.
That's good.
I'm just listening to other people's things. I'm just listening to see what else might be interesting that comes my way. I can't say that there's I just don't. I think right now I have some good systems in place for me.
Yeah.
And what's working for me. So I'm just listening to see what other people have that I might implement to make it even better.
Yeah.
I can't say I have any real challenges.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, that's a good place to be in. That's great.
And I think it's a blessing that I can be in that spot right now. It's not the same as I've always been, but
yeah.
I was a full part-time teacher in the public schools until this is my second year being full-time at home. So I was doing that and running from school to here. And I had about 40 to 45 students then. So now I'm just enjoying being here full-time. So. Hello?
Hi, I have you back
Oh.
now.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
There we go. Did everyone freeze?
I don't think Travis was freezing. I could still see him chewing.
Okay, everyone froze for me.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Well, I've got a question that I would really like to have your input on, if I may do that.
Yeah, go for it.
My kids absolutely love 60-second challenges.
Yeah.
Timed things. I would like to know, what kinds of things have you found successful that we can time for 60 seconds? I need to mix it up. They want the challenge. They want the competition. I have what I call my electronic bulletin board that I have here. It has, so I keep everybody's names and times for whatever we're working on posted. And I will tell you, the first thing the kids do when they come in is they look at that to see what their standing is. So even though they haven't always met these people, they feel like they know them. So it's something I want to keep going, but I'm running out of ideas. I mean, we can only do so many flashcards for intervals and note names and stuff like that. What do we do for 60-second challenges or other things that are competitive within the studio?
Okay, well, 60-second challenge-wise, I just do the notes, but I do 3 different levels for different levels of students. So I do base C to treble C, and then low G to high F, so the full staff, and then I do ones with ledger lines, which are almost impossible. I go up to 3 ledger lines either side, so it's like that's called gold level, so that's an enormous challenge. But otherwise, I have a challenge board, so I can certainly post the link to the photo after the call for you to take a look at that, because I make scales, chords, transposing, and different practice things are all kind of competitive in my studio. So it's a big board rather than just time challenges. So that's the way I kind of have some healthy competition with the scales and stuff like that. Have you tried scale-based things?
What do you have them do? Explain that to me.
So there's 4 levels of scales. So like the first one would just be 1 octave major scales, and it's at a certain BPM. Like the first level would just be 80 BPM, 1 octave scales, similar
So
and
they just
country
play
motion.
them? Just play them for you? Okay.
Play them, and they have to get them right on the first time 3 times. So I have a chart. Again, I can send that to you. 3 times at 3 different lessons, they have to get right on the first go. Okay. So that's the challenge. And then they go up, so there's a 2 octave one, and then the minors, and then all the different minors plus 3 octaves and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then chords is a similar kind of system, graduating eventually to cadences and patterns like that.
Okay. I've got my workers are here that I was telling you about. So let me talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
I'll try quick and see what this ring does.
Okay.
And then see if we can get back to it today, okay?
Sounds good.
Right,
thank you. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So, yeah, that's basically what I do. I'd be interested to hear if anyone else has any competitive things that they bring in. Either of you doing anything competition-based or timed or challenges like that?
No, I don't.
No.
Right now, especially right now, we're working on festival. So they're working on their 2 pieces for festival to get those all ready. And I just usually do a quick iPad activity, either on note names or rhythm. So that's usually what we have to do. Yeah, just to keep it moving, and then get to the main stuff of the, what we're working on.
What are your favorite iPad apps to use for that?
I use NoteRush for some of them, and then Staff Wars for the older kids, but NoteRush for the beginners, because it's just working on like this middle C to G for a lot of them. They're just starting this year, so for them those, or then the base C to G. So, and then Staff Wars, we can either do lines or spaces, treble or bass clef. So those are quick enough for them to get them thinking.
Yeah.
And then Rhythm Swing we'll do for rhythm. They kind of like that. And then I do use Piano Maestro, but usually not as much, not in the lesson. So.
Cool. What were you about to say, Gail?
I am stuck in the Android world, so it's always frustrating for when I hear all these wonderful whatevers, and I can't do them.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't have an iPad either until I decided I wanted to get Piano Maestro last summer. I was sitting around thinking, what do I want to do different? You know, while I had some time in the summer, a little bit of time. And then I started looking at Piano Maestro, and I said, okay, there was, you know, an iPad for $145. I said, okay, it's worth it. It's, you know, I'll write it off and just go for it. So, you know, I have a Generation 2, so they said it won't last much longer. But for right now,
at least it's working.
That's what, yeah, it was worth the $145. So,
yeah,
to me,
yeah, no, that's a good way to go.
Yeah,
it gives you an opportunity to find out how much you're really going to use it before you invest the big bucks.
Yeah.
Yes. And I keep my iPad right there to the right of me, so when I need it real quickly, I can go to the activity that I need. So
yeah,
you know, it's not every lesson, but we try to give them something quick to do.
Sure.
Travis, have you tried out anything competitive or iPad based or that kind of stuff for theory? Maybe we've lost Travis. Seems to be frozen for me.
Is it working now?
It's working. I heard you there, yeah.
Okay, I think it's working now.
Okay, cool. So did you hear me okay, or?
Did you ask a question?
Yeah, I was just asking if you do any kind of competitive or theory type challenges or anything like that, or iPad based stuff?
So far, all of my students are new students, so right now we're really working on just the basics, and I haven't really planned out any challenging type things yet.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, aside from the competitive nature of these challenges, the real bonus for me has been the connectedness that happens between the students. Because we all know that piano can be such a solitary thing, and we lose so many of them when they hit band age. And what does band that we don't have is a group. And so, yes, I can put people together for a duet or a partner lesson or something like that. But to make it even broader than the studio, as much as I'm thankful that kids can have this opportunity to learn whatever we happen to be working on for the challenge, the interpersonal connections to me are probably just about as important. So that's why I'm looking for those kinds of ideas for them to connect with one another. When we have parties, I'll have different games around, and I'll have the older ones help the younger ones, and they get to be my helpers and all that kind of stuff. And they seem to like that too. But always looking for those ideas.
It's great to make the connections. All those challenges and stuff I do. It's nice that they're on the board because they see each other's names, and otherwise they only see each other maybe a few times a year.
That's right.
Recitals and other stuff. So, Lily got up to this one and I didn't get that yet, blah, blah, blah. But, it just gives them an idea of what each other is at and keeps them aware that other people are struggling through the same things that they're going through,
One of my favorite comments was from one of the 16-year-olds when one of the 10-year-olds beat her time. And when she saw it on the board, and she just looked at me and she says, "Would you tell Ariana something for me next week?" I said, "Sure." "What?" She said, "Tell her she's going down." This is good. This is a really good thing for everybody. So
yeah, it spurs them on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's other ways for them to connect. I suppose there's things like I've seen where teachers get them to write one thing that they learned in that lesson, and they have a bulletin board for that. That's
a good idea.
Yeah, so that's quite a fun one where, you know, they just, you know, I learned about this or I learned to do that or whatever. Just one little comment from their lesson. It would keep the parents thinking about, you know, the value as well if they get to see it, which is good. And keep them realizing what they're learning as well as learning about what other people are doing. That might be a fun thing to try out.
I can do that one. I'm writing it down before we forget.
Yeah.
I was writing that down too, because every time I think about a bulletin board, I go, where am I going to put that thing?
Well, I will tell you what I did. I was sitting at the motor vehicle getting a license renewed, and I realized that everybody in the room was staring at this screen that was just doing static scroll. No video, just, you know, and I thought, well, I can do that at home. And so I bought a very inexpensive 32-inch TV and put it in the studio that has a USB. And so then I make my slides, and what I call them, and put it on the USB and plug it in, and it's just a studio scroll, and it rolls the whole time, and it can say, you know, reminders of when the recital is. Remember that studio's gonna be closed that week. I throw some flashcards on there too, just so that they're noticing those as they go by. I put information about different composers, if different ones are working on composers, so just a little 2 or 3 sentences about that. But then I also put up the times on these competition things or whatever. So and on pictures, if they're the one who took home the studio mascot for the week, then they get their picture up there. They finish their book, whatever it happens to be, so that they pay attention to them. And I've had kids go out and get their parents and bring them back in from the car so they could see their picture on the studio scroll. And it's really nice at the end of the day, because if I'm doing paperwork, I can watch TV. So,
you know what? That made me think. I do have a TV. I'm just sitting here looking at it from the dining room. I have a warm-up room. I have 2 pianos right opposite the piano room, and so I just put up a TV within the last 6 months, and I do sometimes have stuff up there, but I never thought about using that as the notes or bulletin board kind of thing.
The recital reminders and stuff like that sounds like a great idea.
So
it's been one of the smarter things I did.
Yeah.
It's been really good. The USB is the key to it. And then I happen to use Microsoft Publisher. And so I set up a page that was in a 16:9 aspect ratio. So that's the size of the TV. So I don't have to worry about crop it or edit or anything. Anytime I just want to do a new screen, I just open up new page, 16:9, plop it on there, make a PDF or a JPEG copy, put it on the USB, plop it back up there, and we're good to go. It's a really quick and efficient way to do it for me.
That's
the one thing I got to do. Let me know how that goes.
There you go. I'm gonna do that. I'm looking at it now going, okay. Because I just don't have in the studio, actually, I don't have room for that, but the kids wait right there, so they'll be able to see that. Very good, very good.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to swing this thing around so you could see it here, but it'd be a little bit awkward. So
you can post a photo later or something if you can.
Well, I just thought as it scrolls through, you can see how it how it looks. So anyway,
I got it. I wrote it down. I got it.
If you got questions, let me know.
I just got to remember to do it. Set it up.
There you go back to 5 a.m. again, trying to find time to
do it. Killed me. I said, on Martin Luther King Day, I was trying to do a bunch of makeup lessons, and Inauguration Day tomorrow, I said, I will not do that. I will not.
Are you doing makeup lessons for your 60-something students, Radine?
Well, because we had a couple of snow, icy, scary days, and I didn't want people to come. Yeah. And they didn't want to come anyway. So I was trying to get caught up on some of them.
You're nicer than I am.
Yeah.
Well, it's the
I would have given them a video or Skype option and just I
normally do that, and they know that in January and February. It's only during that time, but I didn't want to get out of my pajamas. I didn't. It was on Saturdays, and I was just like, I'll text them and just say, no, that's it. Yeah. I could not get out of my pajamas, so I just said, And some of them are so young on Saturdays. I have some like 5 and 6 year olds. I don't think that they're going to do well with the FaceTime lessons. So I didn't offer it to them.
Oh, it's not the same, but
It's not. And I knew 30 minutes with them was going to be torture. So, and they've never done it. They're all new. And I just thought, I'll just do these. I'll stay in my pajamas and I'll do it at another time. I only do FaceTime or Skype or whatever when we're like, it's going to be snowed in like 2 or 3 days. And I know that I'm going to be stuck with a lot of makeup lessons. If it's just one day, you know, especially a Saturday, I only teach from 6:45 till 11:15. You know, that's a short day. So I didn't mind doing some of those, but it was a long stretch the other day. And I thought, oh, I'm going to bed after that. It was long.
Yeah.
So. That.
Great. Well, did anyone else have any other questions that they wanted to ask about of any type? Travis, did you have anything you're wondering about, or anything to share?
No, not really. I just kind of like listen to how other people run their piano studios, because I teach out of the store and I don't own the store. Actually, someone business that they needed a piano teacher, so I was like, yo, I need a job. So I started teaching piano lessons, and I do pay rent to use the store, but all of the other profit goes towards me. And I'm at school right now during our lunch break, and all the kids are staring at me like, oh, Travis is talking. Everything's going pretty good down at the store. My students are great, and they enjoy it most of the time. But the only conflicts that I really have is because I'm still in high school. So I can only teach after 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And usually my students don't have a problem with that either, because they're also in school as well, and their parents work throughout the day. But that's really the only problem I have, is sometimes I have conflicting school schedules with my teaching schedule. So I can't always do things for school that I want to do, because I teach piano lessons. And I don't like canceling on people at all. There's only like a few desperate times where worst comes to worst and we have to cancel piano lesson. But usually other than that, I don't really have any other problems.
Good.
Oh, and by the way, I want to say about my makeup lessons, I often read online about teachers having this big thing with makeup lessons and the problem with that, and asking, I'm always like, boy, I'm really blessed. I really don't have issues with makeup lessons. I don't have people who take advantage of that. My rule is, if you're sick or if there's an emergency, you know, if you don't go to school, don't come here. I'll see you later. I don't want to be sick.
Yeah.
And they know that.
Yeah.
And then other people who just cancel at the last minute and want to rearrange, I say, no. According to the policy, not. And so, you know, I just hear about lots of teachers who have those issues, and I'm like, I know. When I made the makeup lessons the other day, it's because I didn't want to get out of my pajamas. That was on me.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
that was your decision. That's different, though.
that was on me. Yes. And so I don't mind doing that every now and then if, you know, if it's my choice. But they know, don't take advantage of me, and I'm fair to everybody. So
But you
I
know
rarely have a
no.
problem.
That's probably what's happening. I mean,
What?
you know how to say no. Like if it is a silly request, you're going to say no and you do it. I think where people run into a lot of issues is they say yes one time and they think it's a favor. And then the next time the parent's going to expect the exact same thing to happen, because that's what you've taught them. So
Exactly. Yes. So I don't have those issues. So yeah, I just didn't want to get out of my pajamas. That was the issue.
I have it in my policy that I don't do makeup lessons. I will confess that I have done it when it seemed appropriate, but then it was a matter of grace rather than because that way I still have it in writing that I can say, no, remember we talked about this. So that's my back door for the ones who give me grief. But I have been known to make exceptions. And then there's times when I have to cancel because I play for a church. So particularly if I have a special service, you know, like during Lent, or if there's a funeral, when you're the church organist who play for the funerals, then those are always made up if I have to cancel it, or I credit it. And I charge by the month, not by the week. And so if I'm doing that, there's 4 times a year where there would be 5 lessons in a week. And so I figure if we're basing it on tuition of a payment of 4, then it over the course of the year, I have found that it really works out pretty close. And so my standard line is I am a much better teacher than I am a bookkeeper. And so I just charge everybody the same. When you see the first week of the month, bring the tuition, then we're done. And they go along with it for the most part. That way I don't have to keep track.
That's the way I do too.
Who charges. When I did it by the week, I would have to figure it out. The students who were on Tuesday were being billed a different amount than the ones who came on Thursday. And no. That was it took more time than it was worth. So
I do this. I do by month too. I agree.
It's easier. It's really easier.
Yeah.
Do all of you guys teach in your homes?
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Currently, I've had a freestanding store where I actually owned the building and taught my own store, and then particularly back in the organ days, I worked for dealers because I was known as an organ teacher. And this was back in the day, was when you bought the organ, you got 12 free lessons with it. And I worked for a dealership in the Dallas area that we had 7 stores. So I would go from store to store, my traveling dog and pony show, teaching all of these class lessons. And so that was a much, much, much different day and time, but it was great fun. So teaching at home now, my husband is disabled, and so I needed a business that I could do in my home. And so going back to the teaching just worked out beautifully for that.
I've thought about teaching in my home as well, because I do teach at the store, and then the rent that I pick is $65 a month. The deal I made with the lady, it's $5 per lesson, and they pay monthly, so about $20 a month, and I charge $60 a half hour, 1 lesson a week. So my profit is less than it's around the same price as my expenses. So that's one of the things that I've been leaning towards going towards my house.
I have found that one of the things that works out better for teaching in a store is that somehow it gives you for people who don't know you, they're more comfortable coming into that kind of a public environment. Yeah. And then you also have, whether it's spoken or unspoken, the blessing of the store owners, because they know that you're going to be part of that. And that works out really well. The downside is that if somebody doesn't show up, you're still stuck there. If somebody doesn't show up to my house, I can throw in something in the crock pot or load a laundry or whatever I need to do. So there's advantages and disadvantages both ways. If you just have to kind of experiment and find out what works best for you.
Yeah, definitely.
I've probably taught more store lessons than I have home lessons in all of these years. So I understand.
And that's something I've never done. I've never taught in a store, so I can't speak on that one. Where'd everybody go? Oh, there
we're here. We're here.
I'm here.
I think I hit my button. I'm turning on all the lights and everything, getting ready to open the door. I have a sign that I put on the door that means walk on in. So
yeah. I've never taught in a store setting or anything like that, but I did used to travel to students' homes, which is, I don't know.
Oh, I did that one too, Nicola. I did that one. Been there, done that one.
Yeah.
Never
I used to leave the school and then go down to everybody's houses along, and then they'd feed me as I went to church, and it was kind of nice. But now no more of that.
Pretty much the only benefit of that setup, in my opinion, is that you don't have to clean your own house. But that's about it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just all downsides, in my opinion.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. People would want me to do that because, piano is a piano is a piano. They all kind of work the same way. But with organs, there's really so much variety. People would want me to come to their home to show them how to use their organ. And I did it, and I hated it. Let me be clear about this. I hated it.
I didn't hate it. I got on fine with it for years, but...
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but now I knew something different. I love
maybe I would
open up the door.
Yeah, it may have just been because of what I had to do and how there was no. I always felt like there's not a lot of continuity, and I was dealing with mostly with adults, and it turned out to be more social time, which was fine, but we didn't accomplish what we needed to do musically, so it was really frustrating for me.
Yeah.
So I have
definitely
to get back to my school. So I just want to say
Oh, yeah.
to everyone. This was really. And
Thank you for joining us, Travis. It was great to
Nice
have
to
you.
meet you.
You too. All right.
Bye,
Bye.
Travis.
All right, and I'm waiting for my little one to walk up the driveway, so I'm out of here too.
Cool.
Nice to meet you, Radine. I
Thank
look
you.
forward
You
to
too.
seeing how your bulletin
great chatting
board
to you.
comes along.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Please do.
You've got
Okay,
accountability
thanks,
now.
Nicola.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye. See you later.
So what we will do is we'll make sure that we tell everybody what a wonderful time we had online, and we'll tell them how much they missed this. So they-
Yeah. No, I
Have more
mean, we
fun
might be
during
able
that
to
time.
set up another one, but I think it's always scary the first time. So I'm glad some
Yeah.
people managed to get on and everything. So
I am delighted that you did it. I do so much stuff online. This was a real natural one. So thank you for
Yeah,
doing this.
it's good
Now,
fun.
how do you say your name? Where's the accent? Is it Nicola or Nicola?
Oh, Nicola. Nicola.
Nicola.
Is that
It's very,
an unusual name in the US?
I've never seen it before. I think it's lovely, but
Oh.
I've never ever seen that. So I wanted to make sure. I didn't want to pronounce it wrong.
Yeah, no, because people seem to always turn it into Nicole, which is fine. I don't really care what people call me, but yeah, it's Nicola. Nicola.
Okay, very nice. Thank you.
Okay, well, it was lovely to chat to you. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. And
Sounds
like
good.
you say, tell everyone how fabulous it was, and
We will.
organize another one sometime.
Okay, please do. I hope all good things come your way. Thank you
Okay.
for all your efforts.
Thanks so much, Gail. It's lovely to
Bye bye.
Bye bye.